I believe I am live. Hello, Zen friends. Happy weekend to you. Happy Saturday evening to those of you in my time zone area, and happy Sunday morning to those of you on the other side of the planet. So good to see everyone. Welcome. So happy to have you here. Before we get into everything, we will do the jam, what we normally do. We're going to bring in the lovely singing bowl to bring in some wonderful energy from above and look at raising our love vibration to prepare us for messages from spirit. So if you want to join me as I do this, we'll start off taking a big deep breath to come out of the future, come out of the past, out of the chaos of the outside world, come into our little inner temple with a big deep breath coming back to the now. As I hit the singing bowl, you can just let that love energy, that eternal unconditional love energy, come in and fill up every part of your being and flow out to the world, allowing it to do whatever it wants to do out there to help raise the vibration of the planet. Something we can do as we're listening to the singing bowl is focus in on one thing that we're grateful for right here, right now. That immediately begins to raise our love vibration, opens up us to that receiving energy, and it makes you a little magnet for whatever you're grateful for. It just draws it in a little more, a little faster, a little bigger each time we have gratitude around it. So that's what we're going to do. So if you want to join him, I'm going to take a big deep breath in, hold it for as long as you'd like, and we'll come back to the now. So here we go. Big deep breath in. Beautiful. All right, let's begin. Beautiful, beautiful. She is singing up a storm. She's still going, going. Thank you guys so much for joining me in doing that. Can always feel the extra energy when people join in. Your huge hearts. We'll put her back here on her little shelf so she can watch over us. So hello, everybody. Good to see you too. Hey, June. Thank you so much for allowing me to go eat earlier. And your generosity with that. I had a nice big bowl of clam chowder. It's from a can, but it was good. It was the Hungry Man clam chowder. So I had some good. So it was with some sourdough toast. Yum, yum, yum. It was like I was up at the wharf in San Francisco. If you've ever been to Pier, I think it's 39 or something. I went to visit there when my dad used to live up in Sacramento. We went to the wharf and had um, they had bread bowls of sourdough, fresh baked sourdough bread, and then the clam chowder would go inside. And yum yum yum! It was so good. So thank you. I am full and energized, so I'm ready. So hello everybody. We got Day with the jewelry. Got CJ and Cat Lady of the Sea. Hello, hello. Good to see you guys. Maria Amethyst. Hello. Good to see everybody. And anyone that hasn't commented that's hanging out. Hello. Good to see everyone. If you're new to my channel or new to these readings, I'm brudda-zen. We got a great group of Zen friends here with huge hearts and great senses of humor, as I say, because two things we can definitely use for this adventure that we have here as humans that just make it a more amazing experience. So welcome. There's always room for more Zen friends, and it's a safe space for us. If you want to know how the whole process works for readings, it's down in the description box of the video. Donations do get first priority. Free readings are 1 to 2 card readings. Normally, when I step out of the free readings and dive into donations, we do get more tea. We go into the brudda-zen tea factory, or as some of my other Zen friends have been saying, what were they saying? Brudda-zen, third eye, private eye, I think is what they were saying. And I was like, I love that. So I love that we do dive in deeper for those donations. You also get a fortune cookie, one per session. So if you have multiple donations, still just one fortune cookie, which tonight we're using the Wild Soul Oracle. So every donation gets one of those, like I said, per person. Yeah, and we pull more cards for that, is what I was saying. You can use the super chat at the bottom if you want to make a donation, or in the description box of the video, it does mention my Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, and Square. So you can use whatever feels right for you, and whatever donation you want to make from your heart is the perfect amount. I don't have set amounts because I know everyone's finances vary, and cost of living is different everywhere, and rate of exchange is different everywhere. So whatever you're able to give from your heart is the perfect amount. um, at the end of each session, I'm on for about 3 hours. And I'm trying something new this weekend. If 2.5 hours in, if I haven't touched free readings yet, I will break away from donations around that period and do about 30 minutes of free readings. And then if there's any donations left over, I'll go back to those and finish those out. That way, every session, at least in the last half hour-ish, if I'm on for 3 hours, sometimes I finish in 2, it depends on the night. But we'll make sure we at least get some free readings. And like I don't know if I mentioned it, after I'm done with the session, I do pin a comment listing all of the readings I completed. I break out donations and free readings and timestamp. So all I have to do is click on your timestamp. It takes you right to your reading. I know, high tech. Who would have thunk? So that, I think, is the skinny of the things. Tonight I will be using, I've been using this all weekend so far. I've got, let's see if I can do this without dropping them. I got the double-decker light Sears Tarot. I got 2 because one was a gift that someone gave me. And actually it's good because there's one card in here that is a little rough. It bent and got crushed a little bit. It still functions, but I think it's on its way out here soon. So I'll be, like brudda-zen, I'll be one card shy of 2 full decks. But a bunch. I also have these learning tarot that list a bunch of information on them. You can see they're just like all this information down here, including dates. So if there's a when question, I may pull those in here and see how those resonate. I came across those digging through stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, let me do that. So that's the skinny. I think that's everything. We will start here. Let me see here. Okay. So for donations right now, I do have 2 for June, so you'll be up first. And then Cat Lady of the Sea, you'll be up after that. And then CJ, you'll be up after that. So that is where we're at. Let me get the tarot down here. I've already shuffled and split them into 2 decks. They're all mixed together. So sometimes you'll get 2 of the same card even. That's why I like using 2 decks. Combine 2. All right. So let's get into it. All right. So June, let's grab your timestamp here. Boom. There we go. So thank you for your multiple donations for your first one, the sneak peek. That would be my third eye, private eye little emblem for, like, if I had a, a door, I could have that sneak peek. So I love that. So tea time with Bretta, I love it. So in the past, CP has cheated on FS when she previously traveled. Her work is picking back up again. Yay, good for her. How likely is CP going to cheat on FS again? And if so, how will things unfold between CP and FS? All right. Let's get these activated. Let me move these up here. Let me use this here. And so I kind of feel like we want to ask 2 questions for the start. Will there be any more going outside of the relationship for that in cheating? That's what we mean by cheating. Not like cheating at games or like that. We'll be specific. Cheating in the relationship at all, based on current energy. Okay. All right, 3 cards for that. And then specifically any while they're traveling this time around, based on current energies. All right. Okay, so that is the T on that. All right. And if so, if either of these cases, how will things unfold between the both of them? So if cheating exists. Okay, I do want those. I do want this one here. All right. I think we've got the cards. So let us dive in here. See what we got going on. Just got all these scooched. Now, interesting. The bottom of the deck, we do have the 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands, with this energy that's coming in with this is a change of direction has happened between them already. I just feel like there's been a shift of approach already in the relationship between them. So it feels like the whole environment has been changing between them as of, last 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe that's, I feel like, when the biggest part where we've seen the external changes. Internal changes, I felt like, started happening a while ago, but now they're starting to make their way out into the physical world as things do, right? So what I mean by that is I feel like things are different. Like the approach of things are different, the response to things are different, what things mean is different, because I feel like they're both kind of have turned outward, maybe more. FS has turned really in. CP has turned in as well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and this is like going forward. I didn't pull cards for have they cheated since the last time. Well, maybe we'll see that through all this too here. But let's take a look. So based on current energies, will there be any cheating at all in the future of the relationship? The justice card. Uh-oh. No. They're afraid of going to court. I got to look at these other ones now. Yeah. We got the 10 of Swords. which is letting go of old expectations, old ways, and the Leo energy here too, which is an energy of I want to be seen, I want to be heard. Let's lower expression, higher expression of Leo energy, which they're kind of in medium level right now. But it's, when a Leo is in their low expression, they are so wanting to be seen in the outside world that they do desperate things to get recognized and, you know, get attention. And that's what leads to, um, when they're not feeling like they are worthy or lovable, then they'll go to try to find things that make them feel worthy and lovable, whether it is affairs and relationships with people or workaholic or, being around people, get in front of people, a variety of different ways that the ego tries to get fed, right? But in this, it just feels like they've let that go. And with that justice card, they are seeing things from a higher perspective. But that is funny that it comes in there of like, no, I don't want to go to court and go through all this stuff. Um, they're like, no, not worth it. It feels very solid energy right now with them. So I don't feel like they'll cheat going forward. And on the trip here, we got the Emperor energy. Four of Wands, Aries, fire, but this reminds me of the Four of Wands energy of I can control my loins. I can control my passion, versus like a Knight of Wands. It's like a little chihuahua going around humping everyone's legs. The king or the emperor, they know when it's appropriate to act on passions, when it's not. And so this feels like that there won't be cheating here, with this. So yeah, we've got the power of choice, the 10 of wands. Yeah, the energy underneath that, they just know it's like they're choosing, things differently. And the 10 of wands is the burden versus the harvest. And I just feel like they're realizing it's not with everything of how they felt and everything of how the ripples it sent out, they were like, it's not worth it in a cost benefit analysis. That's also the justice card of the, weighing the scales. Is it really worth it? Nah. Their eyes are more, open there as well. Freeze. Can you guys see me okay? I want to make sure this. Do you mean freeze like the I frozen, or are you just cold? Oh, okay. Am I okay now? Obviously, you said stop for a sec, so yeah. All right. So hopefully everyone's seeing everything okay. Um, Thanks for letting me know, though. I try to watch my. I have two screens going, um, and I also have my little studio up, so it'll say if it disconnects usually, but there's a lot of stuff going all over the world, of course. So it can be local to you guys watching too. Um, so I don't really feel cheating here. I feel like they've been like, not worth it. Let me see what these other cards are, because we said if yes, how that would that impact. But I feel like this is just more information here on this Three of Wands of, well, how have things changed? Yeah, that makes sense here. Again, this internal energy of the hermit, that they've really turned inward and upward. They're really doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of self-reflection. And Three of Cups, joy, and their communities and their groups. I feel like they've been around their support their support groups more, and focusing on friends the small group of besties, the people that they feel, and that's why I feel like they're pouring their energy. But a lot of it's inward. Three of Cups, is spirit too. And with the Hermit card, that's the inward, upward, spending time reflecting on what they feel is God or people on the other side or, their spiritual journey. I feel like they're really reflecting a lot in their life. And the Ace of Pentacles, too, feels like they're focusing in on abundance, new opportunities. And it's almost like and this isn't like looking at this as a new opportunity between the two of us. It's more, I'm looking at what opportunities do I have for my life and what do I want? What seeds do I want to plant? What do I want to grow? What does success mean to me? And this is like that independent journey energy. And that makes sense that it used to be so much of I define myself by you and your actions, non actions, words, or silence, and vice versa. And that's why there's clashing and fear. But it's like it's like the forest fires are contained now instead of they're raging out of control. There's still smoke, there's still some fire, but it's not a raging out of control. It's contained within each other independently, and they're really working on lowering their temperatures. So it's interesting. The underlying energy under all that, yeah, even the Judgment card is about their higher self, calling them to see things from a higher place. This is what we call the calling card, too, which is what is my calling? What do I want to achieve in this life? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? Who do I want to be? What impact I want to make? So it feels very interesting. It feels very different for them, um, which is, like I said, interesting. It's like, wow. But the energy has definitely changed from something so volatile to something, like I said, self-contained. Interesting. Right. Well, that's what they have for that one. We'll pull your fortune cookie, they say, for your second one. So we'll look at that. So thank you for your second donation. And we're sipping more of that delicious brudda-zen tea. I love it. CP is traveling next week for work. And will FS cheat on CP? No, I'm just kidding. And then the last few days of September, the first few days of October, friends are meeting in LA. What's the likelihood CP will end up going? Okay. Let's see, the energy has changed here. I'm going to use the other side of the deck here. That's what we got here. So, what's the likelihood based on current energy that CP will end up going? Right. Thank you. If he does go, what's the outcome? That's the do's and the don'ts. If they don't go, right, don't go with FS. Hearing that old 80s song. It happened last weekend too. I had like an 80s jukebox running in my head for some reason because it just kept on, there was words and phrases that kept on bringing up songs, which is interesting. And there's a song from back in the 80s, 90s of, please don't go. There's like that. Please don't go. All right, let's see what we got here. What's the likelihood that they are going here? We got the 7 of Wands. The likelihood right now is no, not going. 7 of Wands is being true to my authentic self, not dimming my light, not asking permission to shine, not explaining what I'm doing, not feeling I have to defend anything, but it's really choosing oneself. And this feels like they're like, you won't have a good as time um as you would without me. I wouldn't have a good time. It's just not my gig. Um why don't I just stay here and you go and have fun, enjoy your friends? Because I feel like they kind of feel like these are more your friends. There's a couple people that they're okay with, but it's not like that's not their crew, that's not their group. They're like, that's more, they like you more than they like me kind of energy. And so that's what's uh, the energy right now. If they do go, the energy brings in these cards. Yeah, we have the devil, the shaking, the rattling of the cages here. The Four of Pentacles, a lot of this energy. Yeah, right. You're like, uh-oh, oh my gosh. Nah, I don't even feel like that's an FS's. I feel FS is more about like if they divorced and if they had a, I don't feel like they would. I feel like they would date for the social kind of stuff, but I just feel FS more to themselves. Like relationships, are when they run their cost benefit analysis, they're like, it's not worth it. Ugh, I just, ugh, they're really turned off with relationships. Oh, they aren't married, so if they separate, I just feel like they're, you know, there's like this. Uh, it's interesting energies that I pick up from there. But with this Four of Pentacles in this, on one side, with the Devil card and the Four of Pentacles, I just feel it brings up stuff about worth um and the Four of Pentacles, it is even because that's like the four walls of the outside world. I feel like CP would spend a lot of time in their room, not so much going out and doing things like, oh no, I don't want to go to that. I don't want to go to that. I feel like they would spend a lot of time away from everyone. Anyway, two more cards for this. Yeah, the Nine of Wands, just very resistant energy here, and the World card. Just I feel like they would be. It would be about how can we get to the end, because that's the last card in the Major Arcana, an end of a cycle, beginning of a new adventure. They'd be going just counting down the days and the minutes before, okay, this is over. Anyway, so I just feel like they know that, and their energy just seems to be like, I don't want to go through all that, right? And if they don't go, the energy that unfolds here, yeah, this independent Ace of Cups energy of finding my self-love, finding, this sense of self energy, which makes sense with everything we've talked about. I get to spend time doing what I love. You get to spend time doing what you enjoy. Um, the High Priestess. There's a lot of great reflection with them being in separate places, seeing things from this higher perspective, and um, you know, um, behind the veil. But it is very much this feeling of being away from the chaos, and there's a peace that's there, um, that they're just feeling this independence, right? Yep, the Seven of Cups. I feel like this is like a sorting out of emotions, but more so what I get with this is like I can let down my filters and I can just be. I'm like it's like when you're around someone that you know each other so well, and you've also used personal things against one another in arguments and different things. You have your walls up, in a way, but when you're in a place where you feel less threatened, then you let the walls down. I feel like they both feel that way, that they can just be themselves, like the Seven of Wands. And then also, yeah, the Four of Cups. It's almost with the Four of Cups, you can see how bored they are. What's funny is like Four of Cups can be like stagnant, like it's such stable emotional energy, it almost feels boring, especially when you're used to so much drama in your lives, which they both have. Both of their experiences from when they were young, they had a lot of drama, dramatic families, dramatic surroundings, like nonstop, right? So to not have drama and be calm almost feels like too quiet. It's if you grew up around noise, you can't stand the silence. You got to have something going on. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if that's why I I, I like a fan for white noise. I'm like hyper aware. I think it was mainly from my brother though. When we were young, probably what? I was probably 12, 13 years old or so. My older brother, I only have one brother, one sibling, an older brother. I'd close my door at night, but he would sneak in the morning sometimes and just go running across the room with his knee out and just bam and hit me on the bed and scare me half to death. And then also that wouldn't hurt too well. So I started to listen where I could hear the the doorknob open up. And the first time he was midair and I turned over and I put my knees up and he, oh, and then I threw him against the wall. And then he fell down between the bed and the wall. And then he didn't do that anymore. I love, yeah. They had it rough too. I can imagine. I tried to put myself in his shoes later in life going, yeah, to have a little brother that you had to go along with you with your friends or, because there's just the two of us and, latchkey children growing up back in our age that you need to walk home with your brother. You need to go make sure you go. We went to the same school for a while, 3 years difference, elementary school anyway. And so it was like, you got to go pick your brother up at his class and you got to walk home with him. Ugh, you know, that's so uncool. All right. So interesting energies. Excuse me. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in too around the situation with them here. Yeah, look at this rebirth, the robin. Huh. Interesting, all of this energy. Oh, I was looking up rebirth instead of robin. All right, so the robin. The robin, often heralding the arrival of spring, symbolizes rebirth and renewal. Its cheerful song and presence signify fresh beginnings and the opportunity to let go of the past. This card suggests that a new chapter is beginning in your life or their lives. The robin encourages you to embrace change and look forward with hope and optimism. The brighter energy of the card says a period of renewal is ahead, embrace new opportunities, and release what no longer serves you. The shadow energy of the card says you may be resisting change or holding on to the past. Consider whether fear of the unknown is preventing you from moving forward. Mm. 3 questions that can be asked. 1, what new beginnings are opening up for me? 2, am I holding on to the past too tightly? And 3, how can I embrace change with optimism? So that kind of all this energy. It definitely is a change of renewal. It is like the winter. It's like they're in this spring energy that's going on between the two of them here. So very interesting, June. We shall see what is unfolding here with all of this. It feels very, I don't know, very kind of, how would we say this? It's like independently together, um, independently together, and just seeing where this goes and what unfolds. I feel like they're both in this interesting energies of, well, let's see what happens. It's like not making decisions kind of energy about things, but pursuing independently what we both want, and let's just see where things end up. So interesting. But that's what they got for you. So many blessings to you there, June. Thank you for your dual donations. So grateful. So good to see you. Cheers to you. All right. So Cat Lady of the Sea, you are up. Look at that. 3535 for your timestamp. Boom, boom, boom. Repeating numbers. And let's give your donation a love and a like here. Thank you so much for that. And you want to know, will you get a remote job in September? Right. I know it is interesting, June, of like this eclipse energy, whatever, something just like switched. It's like, was there an earthquake in the relationship that shifted stuff? And it's like, oh, suddenly you moved and your back don't hurt anymore. What's happening there? All right. So Cat Lady of the Sea, will you get a remote job in September based on current energies? Let's take a look here. Okay, thank you. That one. Do you want this one? I don't want that one. That one's escaping there. I feel like there is one, like there's a job offer that kind of slips away a little bit, because there was a card that I was like, I was drawn toward it, but as I went toward it, it moved into the deck. So it's like, what? Okay, that's not meant for me. So just know that if there was a job offer that kind of escaped like that, okay, that was for me. It's saving you from situations that you wouldn't want to be with that. All right, we will come back to that one. Let's see here. So overall, you got the Page of Wands. It just evaporated. Yeah, so just know that they were saving you. It's like that old country song, "Thank God for Unanswered Prayers." It's like, ooh, they looked good on the outside, but there's a reason why they were hiring people, because they were like, no, it wouldn't be. It would be horrible. And so you were spared just ugly situations. So we're like, thank you. But we have this Page of Wands coming in here. Along with, next to it is the King of Swords. So the bottom of the deck, now they want to bring this in, we do have the Five of Pentacles, which is about thoughts and beliefs around lack and not having enough, not being enough. It's energy of fear of abandonment, being left behind, being left out in the cold. So there's, beliefs, especially with the King of Swords, who is way in their head. This really brings in thoughts and beliefs and the energy that we're putting toward some old thoughts. Could be conscious or unconscious or both, that are here too. Well, this is with business, with those. So sometimes, we know when people are removed out or things happen that we're being spared for things that we don't need to learn from. They're like, you had enough of this. We don't, no. We're not taking another order of pretzels. You already have a whole closet full of pretzels. We don't need more pretzels. We're not taking any more pretzels. You had enough salt. Enough salt in the wounds. We don't need no more pretzels, right? But there is this energy here of being aware of where we're putting our energy with that Page of Wands, and with all this combination of the Five of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and that Page of Wands. It is being aware of any subconscious beliefs of fear of lack, or and it makes sense with us as humans. I know we grow up with so much of, I got to have enough, I've got to have this, I've got to take care of So if you have children, I got to take care of my children. I got to have this. I got to have this. I got to have this. And if I don't, there's all this fear attached to my worth and what I'm able to provide for myself and others and what I'm not. And it's really a lot of this comes in, and it's like, I know it's a hard kind of change in the beginning, and I feel like you can pivot more easily than you ever have been able to into gratitude, right? And it's like we can get so drawn into the fear of the future based on our experiences of the past that we miss the now of how full our lives are compared. There's people that don't have a roof over their head, people that don't have clean running water, electricity, refrigeration, heating and air conditioning, internet, cell phones, computers. I start just looking around the room I'm in. I'm like, we are so blessed. But we can get caught up in that. But there's this long list of things that has to happen for us to feel like we're worthy, or that we are, you know, um, not a loser, right? We don't have an L on our forehead. And I feel like this is an important piece here with all this. We'll find out more here, because I feel like they're trying to just bring in that part of sometimes, um, that can be pushing away opportunities in addition to some of the things we're being kept from, which I feel like that they wanted to make sure you knew that some of these that evaporated were for you. But if it's difficult finding things, then we could be pushing it away by our focus of want and need, and the sometimes, of course, especially as timing gets to places, we can become even desperate, right? That it's like, give it to the creator, focus in on gratitude for what we have and what we have had. That opens up, allows us to receive these things to come in instead of pushing them away with our energy. Even though consciously I'm like, I want a job, that need energy is actually a repulsion energy. It pushes the stuff away instead of attracts it to us. Gratitude is what draws things to us. So I feel like they want you to know that there are some mindsets with that King of Swords that are tied to lack from the past, and to really, especially if it's something that keeps showing up, it's like a child, right? Mom, 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 mom. you know, you're like, what? But it's asking to be seen, to be released, right? Um, so there is an energy here to look at that. Some of it is your energy, which is where we want it. We want, and not to be outside of our control. I want things to be, and in the beginning that kind of stings a little. I get it. First time Spirit had the conversation with me about, my life is built from my stories and my emotions and my energy and my actions. I'm like, so all this stuff I either wanted to learn for something, or it's because of my energies. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, ugh. But then the empowerment that comes after that is, but that's where I want it, because I can change it if I'm the one that controls those areas of my life. And that's what I draw towards me. Then I can change that because I want to, not, oh, well, I'm at the whim of the world. Whatever they're going to give me is what I have to take. No, we don't. There's this power that comes in with that. So I feel like with this information, I do feel now underneath the Five of Wands, now we talked about it, we have the Three of Wands. There is this change of direction, which is so you take stuff and you run with it. You don't, tend to run in circles a lot. I mean, we all have some circles we run around. We go, I don't want to get off this merry-go-round. And you're like, okay, I will. But let's see what comes here. I feel like they wanted to give all that, and then what do we have here? Yeah, I feel here, if we will step past that Nine of Swords, which is all the expectations and that focus on those thoughts and beliefs of unworthiness, or lack. The Page of Cups comes in. You go to a new level here, and that is happiness that comes in. Two cards underneath that, yeah, the Eight of Swords, which is realizing what of my own thoughts and beliefs and mindsets have made me feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted. You can see here she's reflecting in the mirror here. And then the Six of Cups, too. Six of Cups. This is an interesting energy. This is a child card. I do feel like you can get a home remote job, because children is so important that it makes it so much easier, um, for like a single parent to balance everything, right? Because um, you know, especially if it's a remote job where you can throw some laundry in, you can do stuff on breaks and um, you know, and all of that and not feel so stressed and that you can, you don't have to worry about commute. Go here and drop here and drop here. You just, if it's after you go pick up someone at school or meet them at the bus stop or whatever, you have that more flexibility. So I do feel like here it's just getting past the restrictions of expectations of supposed to and should and need to, and we get out of our head with all this stuff that feels so heavy, that feels like we're behind trying to catch up, and we come into this moment of being here right now and going, everything I'm grateful for, and creator, I know you have, you're for me, and I know you'll bring me the perfect job and the perfect timing and the perfect way, and we're going to make all this work. And I like that um, change of energy, because it feels so much lighter for you, and it feels more like you can breathe instead of feeling like you have the world on your shoulders too. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here, but that feels like a positive. Just a little adjustment of where our focus is can help. What's great though with gratitude is it's a high vibrational energy, and so even just like 1 minute of gratitude counterbalances so much time invested in worry and fears and lack energy. So it's not like it has to be tit for tat, one for one. It's a great exchange rate with gratitude. It's like, whoa, the bang for the buck with gratitude is amazing. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here from the Wild Soul Oracle. All right, I want this one for you. And you have intuition, the seal. The seal of approval. Let's see what the seal brings in here. Emotional resilience is what this says here. Well, they called it intuition on there, but they call it emotional resilience. That's interesting. Card 39, that says the seal moving effortlessly between land and sea symbolizes emotional resilience and adaptability. Known for its playful nature, the seal teaches us to navigate emotions with grace and balance. This card suggests that you're being called to remain emotionally flexible and grounded no matter the challenges, right? The bright energy of this card says stay emotionally resilient and allow yourself to adapt to changing circumstances. So not resisting, and that could be that there is some resistance of the change, right? And it's like letting go and going with the change, embracing the change. Balance and flexibility will guide you through turbulent times. The shadow energy of the card says you may be struggling to process emotions or feeling overwhelmed. Consider whether you need to release or better understand what you're holding inside. Questions you can ask yourself: one, how can I strengthen my emotional resilience? Two, am I allowing my emotions to flow freely? And three, what emotions am I holding back? Interesting. I love how seals are joy energy, right? Joy and gratitude, unconditional love, laughter, play, all of that higher vibrational energy helps free things up and moves things to us faster. Of course, all the opposites, the lower vibration act like anchors that slow everything down. So that is what is coming in right now for you, cat lady. So hang in there. It sounds good, like things are coming your way. So hang in there, my dear. I know you've overcome 100% of everything you've ever experienced in your life. So you've got a great track record, right? So hang in there. Sending you lots of love. All right. So up next, we do have CJ, and then we do have Sean G via the CashApp. So that's where we're at. So CJ, let's grab your timestamp here. All right. And let's give your donation a love and a like. All right. I need like the week ahead, please. All right. Let's take a quick sip here. Cheers to you. All right. So what does your week ahead look like here? I feel like we're going to give you here is this a Sunday? Nope, we're going to start off on Monday here. So we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right. Thank you. They're like, and then Saturday, and then next Sunday. So we're starting off on Monday, though. So that's interesting. All right. Bottom of the deck energy for the entire week. You do have the Hermit card coming in. So it's important to kind of step back in situations this week and just look at things from a higher perspective. Take a breath, ask spirit for clarity. But it feels like a very, I'm going to say here, like disconnected a bit from humans, even though you'll have interactions. I feel like it feels like a bit of a disconnect externally, and it just feels like you're kind of having this inner journey, but you don't feel alone, because I feel like you really feel connected to the spirit world this week with this Hermit card coming in here. There's also Virgo energy that comes with the Hermit card. And so especially with this Virgo new moon, we're in Virgo season. So there's this energy here of pay attention to your body, pay attention to the day to day. I just really feel like you're focusing, getting down into the details of doing the work, the daily task stuff. So I feel like that's why I just feel like you're focused in and just kind of little less concerned about the outside world and more focused on your health, your body, your day-to-day kind of energy with that. So that's what's coming in for the week. For Monday, you got the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is a change of energy. It's can be a card that starts off kind of sorrow or lower vibrational emotional energy, but it's like choosing to turn the frown upside down and like no, there's no wrong emotion. There's just different emotional choices that bring you different experiences. And I feel like they're saying this is a day where you have the ability to flip a switch, and I don't like how I'm feeling. Well, I'm going to feel a different way then. Zip, and you can do that, and it switches. So I like that for Monday. Tuesday, yeah, more choices. You actually got the Chariot card coming in here, which is choosing what stories that you have, what emotions you're wanting to feel, what energy you're putting forward, what physical actions you're taking. So Tuesday feels like a day that some decisions are coming about. And the Eight of Swords is about seeing the mirror reflection, realizing in the past what of your own thoughts and beliefs made you feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted. And so there's a bit of reflection here And I like this: before making choices, reflect. Is this a reaction to what I normally would do, or what do I really want to choose now? Because we can, get stuck in the old opinions that we've been given. But this is, wait a minute, is this just out of habit? I'm reacting and choosing this because it's what I've always chosen, but is this what I really want? So this is an important day, Tuesday, to really step back, especially, and go, even with Spirit and the Hermit card, can you give me clarity? I just want to make sure I'm making the choice that I want. And I like that. Wednesday comes about. You do have the Knight of Swords and the Chariot card again. That's when I use two decks to get it here. So Wednesday, more choices, more movement of thought and belief and mindset here too. So Tuesday and Wednesday feel like big days of decision making coming up. I feel like Tuesday is wait. Um, if you can give it a day and make decisions on Wednesday, that's what I would recommend with these cards here. Eight of Swords is reflect on things on Tuesday, move forward on decisions on Wednesday. Thursday comes up, yep, and then take action. Make decisions, like wait on Tuesday, make decisions on Wednesday, and then take action on Thursday. Got all this fire, Ace of Wands, and the Sun, and it is beneficial for you. So Thursday is a day of where things just kind of flow because you've waited, you've thought about it, and then you make a decision the day before, and then you wait a day and you take action. Things just flow very smoothly. They bring you this abundance. Sun card is one of the big abundance cards of the tarot. So, but this is like what you put your action to. It just, the Ace of Wands, it's like I spark a fire and it creates a sun. So there's great abundance and quickness that comes with that on actions taken on Thursday. Friday comes around, more emotional choices, and you have the Lovers card here. It could be more changes around relationships with people. You have the Six of Swords, which is leaving behind old ways of thinking to move to new ways of thinking. It takes you from choppy waters to calmer waters, and this relationship energy. What I'm hearing is these decisions, this change of mindset that you made earlier in the week, you see the fruition of how it's impacting some important relationships in your life on Friday, to where this change of mindset and how you're kind of stepping back and pausing and listening, and listen first, talk second, that it's changing things in your relationship here, to affect two important relationships, whatever that is. But Friday feels like the day where you see the change in people's response to you and reaction to you, just by a little bit of your change of approach on there. So, ooh, interesting, right? Saturday, a week from today, next Saturday, you have the Five of Wands. There's this energy of, this is like groups. This is like all these people hanging out, helping each other. At first, it can look like they're in a competition, trying to, who's going to get here first? But they're actually all helping each other. And I feel like this is a change of energy where you realize I don't need to compete with people, that we can help each other instead. And I kind of picture you in the middle of a firestorm, but you're in the eye of the storm where you're not being touched by all this drama going on around you. And you're able to watch it, but you're also able to um, like help people, like communicate, if that makes sense. You don't need to feel responsible for how they get along, but you can put people together and get them to talk and then let it go. But you're not responsible for it all. But I do feel like it's Saturday feels like groups and interacting with groups, but not feeling responsible for everyone else's choices and their interactions. Just what is my one-on-one relationship with each person? I don't need to be concerned about how everyone else gets along. What I can control is my interaction with each one-on-one person. I can't control any of their actions, non-actions, words, or their silence, but I can I can at least manage how I'm interacting with each individual person. So it feels very growy, like feel like growth on Saturday. It just feels very warm, very like it's warm because you're in the middle of a firestorm, right? But but you're not being touched by it. Just everyone else is having their dramas, but you're just like in this wonderful calm, and I like that. And then next Sunday, not tomorrow, but then Sunday of next week, you have the strength card, Leo energy coming in here, which is the sense of leadership, a sense of leading by example and taking the lead, having the courage to step forward to do what you want to do and where you want to go, and not doing what you don't want to do and doing what you want to do in a way that's like really showing other people this leadership and giving other people the courage. It's like they're showing me in my early 20s when when you're old enough to get into dance clubs and stuff. I was a little dancing fool, and in the beginning when I went, I was so shy, and if there was no one dancing on the dance floor and a song came on that I loved, I wouldn't go out there because I was afraid. But it was amazing because you realize as soon as one person is brave enough to go out, then everyone goes. So it's a common fear. I don't want to look like a fool or whatever, right? But as soon as someone steps up and steps out, other people will jump in. They just don't want to be out there alone. But sometimes it takes a leader. And then eventually I wouldn't care. I'd go out there and then I would notice that that's all it took. I just get out there, and then other people would go out to dance too that were waiting for someone else. Let's see what the fortune cookie brings in for you for next week too. Get out and boogie, CJ. In life, it doesn't have to be really dancing, but they're like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step out. All right. Nope, none of those. All right, there's your card. You've got the bison with abundance. We like that. What a beautiful card. The buffalo. It's interesting with the bison and buffalo that buffalo head toward a storm. If there's a bad storm coming, they don't try running away from it because they learned over time that if they run away from the storm overcomes them and they run with the storm and they spend more time in the storm because they're running away from it. They learned if they charge at it, they get through the storm faster. So it's like, go head on with whatever is coming here for you. So the bison is a powerful and revered animal in many cultures. It symbolizes abundance, prosperity, and the sustenance of life. Known for providing everything from food to shelter, the bison represents the gifts of the earth and the importance of gratitude. This card suggests that abundance is available to you and that you should honor the resources you have. The bison reminds you that true abundance comes from the respect and harmony with nature. The brighter energy of the card is embrace the abundance in your life and honor the resources you have been given. Gratitude and respect will bring even more prosperity. The shadowy energies of the card say you may be focusing too much on material wealth, neglecting the spiritual or communal aspects of abundance. There's that community energy. Consider whether your pursuit of prosperity is aligned with your values. 3 questions you can ask yourself if they resonate. 1, how can I honor the abundance in my life? 2, am I too focused on material wealth? And 3, what does true abundance mean to me? Beautiful. I love that. I heard, I think it's Bashar. It's Daryl Anka channel's Bashar. It's got wonderful information that comes through. But they said and this is an entity in another collective in another planet across, they're at a higher vibration than we are currently, and they would say the true meaning of abundance is that I have everything that I need in this moment to do what I want to do. Instead of abundance meaning I have everything I need to ever do and to do anything ever that I would want to do in my life. That becomes, oh my gosh, right? It's like a lunch lady, like a little kid with their little lunch card that has money put on it every day for today's lunch. Their little kids freaking out because they think the money on the card for today has to last them all week. And it's like, no, you're given enough energy for today. You'll get more energy for tomorrow. So just use the energy for today. Try not to stretch it out among the rest of your life, right? So I love that for you, CJ. And that's what they got for you. So many blessings to you. Thank you again for your donation. Enjoy your fun week. I like that for you. All right. All right. And then Sean G, you are up. Look at this. You got 10551. All these ones and fives. I like it. All right. So Sean G, and yours is on the CashApp over here. You want to know, will things in court work in your favor? It's like, what is that from? Hunger Games? May the odds ever be in your favor. Let's take a look. Let me just mix up the decks here again. Just get some energies here. Let's balance out the decks. There we go. All right, this is the one they want for you. Let's shuffle it up. There we go. All right. Okay, thank you. So based on current energies, will court work out for you? All right, we got that. What else? A little extra there too. All right. So let's see here. Will it work out for you here? So you do have the Ace of Cups and the Two of Wands. I like this Ace of Cups. That's a happiness energy. And of course, the Two of Wands is where the importance of where we focus our energy. I feel like it's leaning toward for you with the Ace of Cups. That's just aces are a powerful message card. So it's a positive energy. The Two of Wands is being aware of, am I focusing on what I'm grateful for, or am I focusing on want, need, and any fears, right? So it's like, all right, let me check my energy. Let me check my energy. What am I drawing in, right? Because whatever I'm sending out is what I'm asking. This is what I want to have. This is the kind of experience I want to have. And we have the star card here too, which is, this dream come true energy, wishing upon a star. So it feels positive here. Just be aware of your energy, I feel, is an important thing. What else did they want you to know here? Yeah, you got the Two of Pentacles, power of choices, along with the Ten of Swords. This is the expectations, right? And so that is like, how can I know where my energy is going? It's, am I trying to fix anything? Am I trying to control anything? Do I have any disappointment energy? All those three things point that I am in the lower vibrational energy area because I'm being drawn by my fears into, that. So when I'm trying to control something, that means I'm feeling like something has to happen. And whenever our little inner child feels unsafe and out of control, it's trying to control things in the outside world. If I'm trying to fix something that I believe something's not the way it's supposed to be, which is an expectation word, and then the expectation, right? Well, it hasn't unfolded where I feel like I'm behind. I feel like I should have been way far beyond where it's at by now. It's releasing. The Ten of Swords is walking away, and all this mindsets, all this stuff. I like with this card, I like to do this because look how peaceful and serene it looks when they're walking away without expectations versus don't look up, you're going to have poop on your head. You're going to get in your eye if you look up. There's all these birds of thought flying above you. It's like releasing all of this mental trying to control and trying to fix and trying to, control things that are outside of our control. That's this little balance energy with the Two of Pentacles. Let me just balance the outside world. Let me have my two buckets. What are the things within my control? I put in here, and that's where I invest my energy. The things outside of my control go in the F it bucket. Is if you ever watch Rewilding with Sarah Lynn, I think is her name. I love it because she's so just she drops the F bomb a lot, but she calls it the F it bucket. Just chuck it in the F it bucket. But she says the word. um, so I like that. What is within your control? And then you have the Six of Cups. Yeah, there is this family energy here, connecting to your past, coming in here. So I do feel like, and I know that there's some of that they're bringing back. I think you had mentioned you wanted to go to a family reunion and everything, but if if you weren't able to go when everyone else, is planning all this stuff, I feel like again, it's always for us. It's going to give you the opportunity to plan things the way you do and not have to do the things the way everyone else wanted you to do it. You get to plan your get-togethers, and you get to go on your own adventures. And it's like when you go to a group, it's can be a very, well, not very, well, just like it's more of a shallow experience when you have all these people, because no one gets into, these deep one-on-one and really gets to know people. We're getting to know everyone as a group. But when you get to go spend times with smaller groups, you really get to know people in a deeper way. So I feel like if that resonates for you, that's what's coming in there. See what your fortune cookie brings in here, but it feels like it's looking good. But as far as how good it turns out and how fast, just be aware of your energy there. All right, let's see what's your fortune cookie. What else for Sean? All right, there we go. And you have the journey. Yep, enjoy the journey. The horse. I love the horse. The knights in tarot are about action and movement. So there is good action and movement here for you. So the horse. So the horse, a symbol of freedom and movement, represents the power of the journey, both physical and spiritual. Yeah, it's all the journey about the journey, right? Horses have long been companions in travel, embodying strength and the desire to explore. This card encourages you to embrace your personal journey, trusting in the path ahead. I love it. The horse reminds you that progress is made one step at a time, and the adventure itself is as important as the destination. There you go. It's the process of getting to the end of things, right? And it's all about the journey. What have we grown? How have we grown through it? The brighter energy of the card says, embrace the journey you're on and trust the path ahead. Focus on progress, not just the destination. So the gratitude for the progress that has happened, right? The shadowy energy of the card says, you may feel stuck or reluctant to move forward. Consider whether fear or hesitation is holding you back from fully embracing the journey. Yeah, there's a lot learning about fears through things when it's not unfolding the way the noggin thinks it should. There's all this worth energy that we attach to outcomes. If it's not happening this, it means I'm doing something wrong or I'm being punished somehow, right? It's like when we're younger and they're like, well, you just wait. I'm going to make you wait now. It's like sometimes we feel like that's what the universe does. You've been bad. I'm going to make you wait for your treat now. Oh, no. That's not the way the universe works, right? Questions you can ask yourself: where is your journey leading you? Am I resisting the path ahead? And 3, how can I move forward with confidence? I like it. So that's what they have for you, Shanji. So enjoy. Thank you again for your donation. I really appreciate that. And then Culture Envy, you are up. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Let's grab your timestamp here. And we'll give your donation a love and a whoops. We'll try that again. A love. There we go. And a like. So thank you so much for the donation. And so you're taking on more than your fair share of housework. Oh, that's so generous of you. You're so kind. Guidance on how to balance this work with my housemates. I know, right? You're like, oh, I tell you, I'm having flashbacks of my first relationship I was in. They were in the military. They had just gotten out of the military, and um, they did not want to do any kind of cleaning because they were cleaning toilets and doing different things. Like they made them do all that kind of stuff, clean all this stuff. They all had to rotate and do all that stuff. So they were all about play, 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 and if there's time left over, fun. And I was no wait. That's probably more accurate. But what I was going to say was they're all play, 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 and if there's time left over, then work. I was all work, work, work. If there's time left over, play. So we kind of drew each other more towards the middle. But I remember the day where I um I was I got I was because I was like, why? I found a plate next to the couch in the corner that had a cup on it that had like sealed itself to the plate because it hadn't been moved, um and there was just like socks here, underwear there was stuff everywhere, and I was just like, oh my god, I need some help doing all this stuff. And he blew up back at me and said, I just got out of the military. I don't want to do all this stuff. And if it's so important to you, then you do it. But I don't care about all this stuff. And it's the first time it really hit me that what? Not everyone has the same level of expectations of things. And when I was like, what planet are you from? And then I realized, wow. Wow. And so I did. I stopped bugging them about everything that I felt needed to be done and realized I'm doing this for me, not um, for others. And when I started going, I don't really want to do all this stuff for myself either, like making sure all the dishes in the sink are done before I go to bed, and that we got to vacuum, twice a week since we have dogs and cats, and we need to do this, and laundry has to be done on this day, and I mean very stringent things. Um, I had both of my parents were kind of um, OCD a little bit. Thus, I inherited it. Um, and when I realized that, I let go of some stuff that had to happen in a certain way. And like if they wanted to go to a movie, and I'm like, well, I want to start laundry. I need to fold the laundry because otherwise it'll get all wrinkled. And then I want to vacuum because we haven't vacuumed all week. So I want to do that. And then we can go to a movie. What time? And like, well, it's in an hour. Um, and they were like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll vacuum, and if you'll fold the laundry. I'm like, that sounds good. You go. And so they went and did the vacuuming while I did the laundry, and it was a win-win, right? And so, but I learned, that so much of what I was expecting of someone to get done, it didn't need to get done. I was brainwashed into these things had to happen in a certain way and certain timing, and it was like, does it really? I don't care that much about it. Do I care about what other people, you know now I'm like, I'll put out a vacuum and cleaning supplies if people are coming over, and if they don't like the way it looks, they can help themselves and clean. But a bunk, it's not that bad. All right, but let's see here. Little story time with brudda-zen. This is what Spirit has for you. So, guidance on how to balance the work with your housemate. Let's see what they have here. So we got this. Yeah. This here. Okay. And then this underneath. Okay. So it's interesting. The bottom of the deck, you do have the world card, which is an ending of an old cycle, the beginning of new adventures, which is really, it's about, because it starts off at the full card, which is free of expectations and a world of possibilities. So in a way, it's like letting go of expectations. And the first card that showed itself is the Three of Swords, which is my card of expectations, heartache, and disappointment. And it's like, yeah, we have this thing of, well, no one wants a stinky trash. Well, it may not bother them, but it bothers me. I'm going to take out the trash. Well, I don't, they don't do this, they don't do that. I look at, what do I want done for my health, right? I don't want fungus growing on things, but it's important to me, then I start doing those things. And so I feel like that's the beginning, like we kind of, with the story, is kind of where it prequeled here, right? Um, kind of, and it's like, okay, it starts with me questioning what I'm trying to control, what I'm, why are these things so important to me? Let me evaluate that first to find out what is just out of habit and opinion that I'm doing things and feel things need to happen, and what really truly matters to me, not what I think I'm supposed to care about. So I like that, because we start here, right? Let's see what else we have here. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's the Seven of Swords, the Page of Swords, all this mental energy that's coming in. It's my thoughts and beliefs that steal my peace, steal things from me. Page of Swords is seeing things differently, communicating differently, a little bit here too. But it's because, there was a difference when I first talked to them, like in my story, right? Where I was like, "Brah, and Bubba, why aren't you doing this? You're failing. You're not doing well." To changing the approach of, we can go to yeah, sure, let's go to a movie. I do want to do these two things first, though, because these are your clothes that we're folding. You know, we don't want them wrinkled for work, right? And then, and there's like so much dog hair and everything, and cat hair. I just like to, vacuum. And that was a different approach, because I wasn't expecting them. I just told them what I was going to do. Um, and um, and then they offered to help. And so it was my approach was different. So I got a different response. Instead of a reaction of, they felt attacked, it was a more thing, and, um, after they did that, I thanked them. I go, "Thank you so much for doing that. It really helped me out. I appreciate that." And I was like, through, instead of what felt like punishment, it was more through positive reinforcement in a way too. "Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That made them want to do and help out more." And they would do more things, as well. But I wouldn't expect it, because the moment I expected it and they didn't do it, rage would start to raise, right? Disappointment. Oh, what? And then, nope, 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 nope. So that's interesting. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, the Four of Swords. This is letting the expectations go. That's where your peace of mind comes from, balancing your head and your heart. Because all of the struggle and the conflict is happening in here, not out here. I want you to do these things. Well, maybe they want us to. What if they wanted us to do things we didn't want to do? Or maybe they aren't even aware of, um, and or they think a magic fairy comes in the night and cleans things. uh, there's this meme that showed someone, I think it was like it was someone's partner, right? And they're like, "Oh my God, um, while you were gone, um, you know, the cleaning fairy didn't come at all. Maybe they followed you." They're like, "What do you mean?" "Well, look, the dishes aren't done. The laundry isn't done and folded into da 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 da." And they're like, "Really?" Because they hadn't done that right. Yeah, we're all doing the best we can, right? But that was funny. It's like, I'm the cleaning fairy. Yeah, the Ace of Pentacles. There's a new opportunity. This is about worth, seeing our worth in relationship to the outside world in a different way, which is not defining ourselves by other people's actions or non-actions, in this case, their words or their silence, but that my worth comes from inside of me, and the rest of it in the outside world is just, it just is, till it gets in here and our noodle puts a story to what's happening. Oh, they're doing this because they're trying to take advantage of me, or why do we think they're not helping, right? What's the fear, what's the story we're putting to that? Let's change that so we can change that story, right? Underlying energy, yep, here's the Fool card. So you have the World card on the back and the Fool card. Underlying energy is letting all the supposed to's go as much as we can in life. We live in abundance instead of feeling like there's so much we have to do just to hit zero. We start off feeling like we're in the negative. I got to get to here. We clean house, then we're at zero, right? Instead of no expectations. Whatever we do, it happens, right? What are we afraid of? Well, someone's going to come over and see a dirty floor. The vacuum's in the closet, or the broom is over there, or the mop is over there. If you don't like it, you can change that, if you'd like. Well, no, you should be doing this. This is how you should live. Oh, really? Well, master of the universe, thank you. Yeah, and the Ace of Wands. This is our energy too. If I focus in on, and this is both energetically and how I interact with someone, but energetically, if I'm focusing on what is not happening, I get more and more and more of not happening when I focus in on what I'm grateful for. So I'm like, I'm grateful that they do this. I'm grateful that they do that. I'm grateful that they do this, and I'm grateful that of these other things that this person has done. And like we talked about, that positive reinforcement. And if I'm grateful to them for what they are doing, instead of going, sticky notes, you didn't do this, or, there's, I've heard this comedian who has OCD. He lived with three other of comedians when they were first starting out. And they were interviewing him, and they're like, "Oh my God, yeah, we'd come home with s- uh, s- post-it notes throughout the house telling us what we didn't do." That didn't go over well. That didn't make us want to do it more. What did it make us want to do? Go the other direction, right? So I like that. Let's work with people and walk with people instead of trying to push them or pull them, because all we get, right, when if someone tries to push me, what do? We push back, right? Someone tries to pull me, I resist. But if someone goes, "Follow me, walk with me," we'll walk with them. But not being pushed or pulled, that's our natural instinct of resistance, or and whatever it is. Because none of us like to be told who we're supposed to be and what we're not doing, and that. But who of us doesn't like to be told, "I am so grateful for you because of this and because of that." Um, we're like, wow, what does that make us want to do? I want to do that more. All right. So I feel like that is what they have for there. We'll give you your fortune cookie. I see number 2 coming in here. So for your timestamps afterwards, I'll just add ×2 here just for references. Yeah, absolutely. It's always a fun situation, and being a manager in corporate life for a long time, you really learn you can't control people. It's a waste of energy, but you can find out what interests people, and um and if you're like, I'm thinking they should just do things. You can even do like, if depending on what kind of housemate this is, of course, if it's a romantic housemate, there's different rewards that we can give people. But, we won't go into that here on this channel. We keep it PG here. But if it's just a platonic housemate, we can um, we can say, like if it's a weekend and we're not working, or whatever, like, all right, Saturday is going to be chore day, and so this is a list of things that I'm going to do. And if we can get them, if you want to help, if we get it all done by noon, then we're ordering pizza, or we're going to go out to eat, and da 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 da, or whatever encouragement thing that they have, right? So it's very interesting there. All right. So that was for number one. And thank you for your additional donation here. We gave that a love and a like. So you won't get the necessary documents to allow you to keep your pet in your apartment until the end of the month. Should I continue to keep my pet a secret from your housemates until I get my papers, or should I come clean and explain your situation? All right, let's take a look here. And of course, from Spirit, there is no shoulds, right? They don't have an opinion on right or wrong, good or bad, better or worse. It's more different choices with different outcomes and different experiences. So we'll kind of go about this and going, if you come clean and share with them, what's the energy? And if you don't, what's the current energy, and outcomes of those? So if you do, let's start off with this. Let's start off with this. If you do, so if you do come clean and say, hey, housemates, this is what's going on, etc. By the way, I've got a python and a tarantula in my room. Is that okay? Wah! No, I'm just kidding. um, so that's that. And then what would be the outcome if you keep it a secret? Okay. I mean, if you come clean. And then if you keep it a secret, what's the energy around that? Right. And then the outcome of that. All right. So if you come clean and tell them the kind of energy, a lizard and some crickets, you got the strength card here, the courage, and that does take courage and the inner strength. You have the Eight of Cups, leaving behind emotions and relationships that don't serve. No. The Nine of Wands. It does feel like here there's some different reactions from people here, because it sounds like you said housemates. Is there more than one that comes in here? Because I feel like, like with that Leo energy, that's like someone saying, well, thanks for being honest and coming forward. The Eight of Cups people, I feel like there's someone that's very emotional, um, and they're very, very touchy, sensitive, and I feel like they kind of close down. And the Nine of Wands, I don't know how many do you have? Oh, two roommates. Okay. Um, because this Nine of Wands energy feels like, and maybe this is the Eight of Cups and Nine of Wands together, it kind of makes them, um, I don't know, they're kind of like a Chicken Little. The sky's falling. Oh God, oh God, oh God, why are you doing stuff that can impact me, kind of energy. The other one's like, wow, thanks for letting me know. Nothing. The other one, so it's, and I feel like you know that about this person, and you're like, well, that's probably the one you're more apt to go, "Ugh, I just don't want to deal with the emotional uh, what is it called? Like after an atom bomb, after the nuclear fallout. The outcome of this, yeah, Queen of Pentacles, Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. Um, it's a positive outcome if you come forward in here. I just feel like that's their first reaction, but they get over things too. They're very reactive, but they also get over things faster. But in this one, they kind of, um, I just feel like they aren't a very trusting person anyway, and they put up walls. It takes time for walls to come down, and you're just like, okay. If you don't tell your roommates here, you got the power of choice. You step into your power. You're like, you know what? I get to choose. You have the Ace of Cups. It's the self love energy, um, and the Lover's card. Emotional choice energy here. It's realizing here, like if you don't tell them, it's like whatever anyone decides. This energy of I get to choose my story, my emotions, my energy, my actions. Can't control anyone else's. I'm just going to control mine. I get to do what I want. And because I'm the one that gets to apply stories and everything, can't really control how other people are going to act or react or whatever. But I feel like there's empowerment there too. If you don't do it, you're like, you know what? I can choose to say what I want and what not. And if at you know if they don't like it after it happens, that's their choice too, right? Because I do feel like you'll have two different responses, a response and a reaction to telling them, versus if you don't, you would still have probably the same reactions anyway, but you get to choose. And the overall outcome, yeah, with the Two of Wands, I feel like this is, the Two of Wands is split energies. But I feel like it would be the same. You would get the same from either one of them. I feel like one is kind of like a so. Oh, thanks for the information, and you're like, oh, you have that. Oh, that's cool. But the other one is very much more sensitive, much more fear. Like I said, Chicken Little, and that comes from their childhood. A big, big, big high bar that was set, and they were told a lot of how that they were failing and etc. kind of energies. So they're very much high maintenance on themselves with high expectations kind of energies. So it's almost like an energy of you get to choose. I don't think I gave you a fortune cookie yet, did I? Um, so I don't feel like there's it's like you had the Queen of Swords on the bottom, which is a balance between the head and the heart. And it's like, yeah, what would you want? That's interesting. I like that. The Spirit's like, just put yourself in their shoes. Would you care? Would you want to know? Um, and then go, okay, yeah, I would want to know. So I'm going to tell them. Or I wouldn't care, then go buy that, right? You're like, yeah. I'd appreciate communication with my roommates. So at least I'm aware of it. In case you're not at home and I hear something in your room. Or it escapes. Let's see what we got here. Look, you got the bravery, the boar, bravery. Here's that courage energy, right? What are you afraid of? The boar, a symbol of courage, strength, and fearlessness, represents the warrior spirit within us all. Known for its fierce nature, you're fierce, and ability to face threats head on, the boar teaches the power of bravery and standing your ground. This card suggests that you may need to summon your courage to face a challenge or defend your position. The boar reminds you that bravery is not the absence of fear, but the determination to act despite it. Well, yeah, right. The lighter energy of this card is summon your courage and face your challenges head on. Bravery will help you overcome fear and achieve your goals. The shadow energy of the card is your bravery may be turning into recklessness or unnecessary confrontation. So consider whether you are being too aggressive or taking unnecessary risks. Questions you can ask yourself: one, where do I need to show more bravery? Two, am I being too reckless or confrontational? And three, how can I balance courage with wisdom? Hmm. So there you go. Hopefully that helps. So that is what they have for you, my dear. Thank you again for your dual donations. I greatly appreciate those. All right. And I think that's the last of my donations for this moment in time. So let me gather the free readings here. So we have Maria, Amethyst, Salentine. You'll be up first. Okay, those were all June. And then we have Day with the jewelry. Let's grab yours here. Okay. We did those. We did those. All right, and then Olivier Vagara. You're up. I just have three. Is that just three? Yep, three free readings. All right. So we will jump in here. Let me just get those all set up here. All right. So I'll give these a shuffle here. And what we'll do here with the free readings, we have 2 stacks. So we'll get these all prepared. So this is for all free readings. All right. And then for the second stack as well. All right, so this is for all the free readings here. All right, so we'll start off here. Maria Amethyst, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. Boom. All right, so Maria, you wanted to know, will Philippe come back to you again, or is it forever over? All right, let's see what we got here going on. You got the 4 of Cups and the 7 of Pentacles. There is this energy here. Based on current energy, it doesn't feel like a return, because the 4 of Cups, you can see, this is a stagnant emotional energy where, with what emotions we were experiencing, it's boredom, it's stagnant, it's not feeling fulfilled, right? This Ace of Cups is what will fulfill us, but we don't see that yet. And so that is a message of, it can be from both of your standpoints, but since we're focusing on Philippe's energy, there is this, I'm not feeling fulfilled by the 3 cups of the outside world, which are relationship situations and things, which is something that we all experience as humans, because we're taught to look outside of ourselves first for our self-love, and it falls short. We never feel satisfied for very long, if at all, in things in the outside world. I usually say it's like American Chinese food. You eat it and you're hungry an hour later. It's like it's not filling. Our heart is searching for our eternal unconditional love that we can only find in our own heart, inward and upward. And then once we fill up inward and upward, and we're that's that Ace of Cups. Once we find this and we're filling up and overflowing, then everything in the outside world, instead of feeling like it's lacking, feels above and beyond extra. And then we don't need the love from the outside world, but we want it because it's enjoyable, but it's a different experience instead of something lacking. It's that. And I feel like that's where they're at. They just are feeling discontent in what they're experiencing in the outside world. It's not just you that they're experiencing this with. They're experiencing it with other relationships, with their job, with their abundance, their money, their possessions. Everything feels empty and they don't know why. And that's the Seven of Pentacles too, which, whoops, one of the energies of the Seven of Pentacles is this, you've planted these seeds, it's grown into a tree, you've been waiting for the fruit, and then you get the fruit and you're like, this isn't filling me either. What is it? I need something else. So both of these energies are that they're feeling discontent in their life, and they feel like it's everything in the outside world is falling short, but really everything in the outside world is pointing them back to themselves where they need to find this answer. So I can't say forever because um, this energy is, if they realize that this is something that's happening inside of them, the discontent is here, not out here. Then once I find my inner contentment, then the world is full of possibilities. So that's not faded here of no or yes, but things can't go back the way they were, because until they change, they're going to experience the world in that way, right? So um, you can, make the choices when we're going through things like this, right? When um, there's separation, it's like I'm not going to wait for them to change because they may never change. I'm going to go, how can I take what I'm seeing in this and apply it to me? How can I find my inner love? Because any love I have is not also going to feel fulfilled until I find that inner love. And then I raise my vibration. I raise that I'm full and overflowing. I'm not desperate for that love in the outside world. I still can want it, but I don't feel desperate for it because I'm finding the love I've been looking for all my life is me. It's right here, right? So hopefully that helps. That's what they have right now here for you, Maria. So hang in there, my dear. Many blessings to you. Right. And then Day with the jewelry. You are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. All right. And then whatever you should know. Let's see what they got here for you. Yeah, I like this for you because you have the Nine of Swords, which normally, I mean, this is the Nightmare and Insomnia card. A lot of expectations, a lot of thinking that's getting to the point of exhaustion. But the Queen of Swords, who rules over the sword suit, she has this Ace of Swords, which allows us to cut away these thoughts and these beliefs that don't serve us anymore. So I feel like there are some challenging energies that have been coming up. Usually we'll realize how we can identify these anyway is because whenever I feel this feeling of tightness within me, I ask myself three questions. I ask myself, who or what am I trying to control? Who or what am I trying to fix? And what expectations do I have around a person or a situation where I'm feeling disappointment? That helps me get to the root of the fears under those. Because if I'm trying to fix something, that tells me, of course, that I think something's wrong and it's not matching something that I think should be happening, right? If I'm feeling disappointed, then I'm expecting that something should be different than it is. And then, of course, what am I trying to control means I'm feeling out of control some way, and I'm trying to get things back into the way of the supposed to's. So it shows me and it gets me to my fears, and then I can release it because I'm understanding what's at the root of this. And it's a trigger, and these triggers are coming up to show me what I can be freed from. It's bubbling down there below the surface because I'm reacting, but things are brought to me over and over again. So I can go, oh, this is something to look at that I can be freed from. So I feel like that's the big message for right now that they feel would be helpful for you to know. Right, so that's what they have for you, Day. Many blessings to you. All right. And then Olivier Vagara. Hello, my friend. Let's grab your timestamp here. All right. And there is yours. You want to ask if David is still aware of what you do or not do and any feelings around doing that. Okay, let's take a look here. I don't know, we got the Hierophant. You got two major arcana here. The Hierophant, the major arcana number 5, which is about being drawn to try to see things from this higher perspective, and the Wheel of Fortune turning here. 5 and 10 energies that are here. They feel that when I'm tapping into their energies, they're feeling very caught in like a swirl of change in their life. And this Wheel of Fortune is like this focus on my security, is what I'm getting from this, of all this, their whatever's in their head of their definition of secure and, safe, secure and safety of life. I feel like they're just really focused in on that around money, enough things, enough place, secure a job, blah, 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 blah. I feel like they're all involved in that. It's like everything else is, I'm diverting all energy from emotions and feelings and thinking about other things, and it's all zeroed in on this because I feel like whatever changes have been igniting and happening in their life, that it's pointing them to that. And that's where they're at in their life here. So I don't um I don't feel like they're paying attention to anything outside of that. It's like I'm in hyper vigilant mode about my own security. So I'm in survival mode, trying to gather all my stuff to survive. And so they're acting like a 2-year-old who wants to play with all the it wants all the toys. All mine, 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 mine. These are all mine. You know, no one can play with them. They're mine. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting from them right now, which doesn't mean that they won't calm down in a bit and then think about things. But I feel like everything is numbed and dulled in super focus on all of that kind of energy right now. I'm kind of just seeing if, in their little detached heart, is there any emotions down there? But it just is so numb right now towards other people. All their energy, it's like they're focused in on this themselves. Me energy. So, that's that's the way he is. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, not a surprise then, right? All right. Well, that's what they have for you, my dear. So, hopefully that allows you to go, yeah, some things don't change. We'll just let that go its way. All right. I think let me just do one last little roll over here since we're only at 2 hours. Just want to see if there was anyone else. Just make sure I don't want to shut down early and there was readings to do. Yeah. And that's because they define their worth, right? By those things they're taught. Your worth depends on this and this and this and this, right? And so they're like super focused on that. This is my worth, so I have to protect it. I have to grow it. And it's usually from their childhood. That's where they learned it all too. So it is what it is. That's what we have to go with, right? All right, my friends. Well, that is it. I don't have any other donations, any other free readings. So we will shut it down. You're very welcome, Olivier. I will be back tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Whatever I don't finish in the mornings, of course, I do come back in the evenings. And so, do have a little announcement on Monday. I'm excited. I'm like, shh, don't tell anyone. But I'm going to be starting it's the introduction to my podcast that's coming up, The Easier Path. So I'm excited to birth that next Monday. And then, but you guys will get the official announcement, but shh, don't tell anyone. All right. Well, everybody, thank you again so much for all the thumbs up, all the love and support. Until I see you again, remember every second of every day of your life, you truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the mother and father of all things, our creator. And of course, I love you guys too. So until I see you again, much love. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. We'll see you soon. See you tomorrow. All right. Love you guys.